Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. Well, we made it. Yep, that's right. We got through this week of carnage, this week of chaos and mass destruction in the stock market. It has been a brutal week for the entire stock market. Doesn't matter where you are, S&P 500, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, whether you're in Tesla, whether you're not in Tesla, in any sector, right? Everything has just been beat up on the backs of this inflation data that we got on, Wednesday? Yeah, it's just been absolutely brutal. But we're here. It's the weekend. Thank goodness it's the weekend. And the bright side is we actually closed up on the last day. So as of closing today, Friday, at the close of the market, we were up 5.71%. So not the best, not the quite relief rally you would have hoped, right? It would have been nice to see 10-15% pop, especially when we were seeing, 10 pops downwards. But hey, we'll take what we can get. All right. Well, I don't want to spend this entire video talking about the stock market because, frankly, there's nothing good to talk about. So I'd rather just get back to talking more about the tech when it comes to Tesla, because at the end of the day, that is what matters, and that's what's going to guide us forward. But before we get into it, I need to give a shout out to our newest Patreon, Ivan Hernandez. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for supporting our channel. And if you want to support us via Patreon, you can find the link down below in the description. Now, I also want to give another shout out to my little brother who lives in Spain, to Max. Max, good morning. He watches my videos every single morning when they wake up. So have a good day, Max. Enjoy going to Dinosaur World. I know you don't want to, but enjoy it anyways. All right, in today's video, what I want to talk about is the progress that we see going on with full self-driving beta, and more importantly, forget about the telltale signs we hear from Elon or from anyone else within Tesla. What I'm starting to see are some of the tea leaves from the actual beta testers. So today, that's what we're going to focus on. Now, before we get into it, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. Don't forget, if you guys want to support the channel via our merch store, you can find our merch store from the link down below. All right, with that said, let's get into it. For quite some time now, really ever since I started this channel, I've been saying that we are going to know when FSD Beta is ready based on a few telltale signs. One of them that I have historically said is Chuck Cook. If you haven't watched his videos, he's a FSD Beta YouTube type channel. He has FSD Beta. He puts up his videos just about 3, 4, 5 videos for every release that comes out with regards to the iterations of FSD Beta. And what I've said is he's got this unprotected left-hand turn that seems to always fail with FSD Beta. Now, it can do it on occasion, right? If one side is empty or clear and the other side is clear, but what it won't do is it won't negotiate a median, which in Florida you have to do a lot of. You have to, hop onto the median, wait there until the other side's clear, then you can go. And it also always relies on the fact that both sides have to be empty in order to go forward, all right? So if it does do it successfully, it's only because both sides are clear. It won't negotiate that median. And even when it does seem like both sides are clear, sometimes it fails to go ahead with any kind of urgency, right? It's almost like there's a hesitation there. In my talk with Farzad, he explained this as well with regards to his experience with FSD Beta, is that the acts are correct, right? The steering position, the actual driving is correct. The part that he sees a lack of when it comes to FSD Beta, it's the decision making, right? It's that latency in, okay, go, like you know the right thing to do, just do it, the confidence. And so this is where I have a lot of conviction in this new release that's coming out, because this new release that's supposed to come out any day now, we should get the release notes. It's probably going to come out this weekend, hopefully. But the main point of this release, according to what we've heard from Elon, is that we're going to see more of the neural nets be using surround video for its decision making versus the bag of points, which we've heard Andre Kapati talk about all the time. If you don't know what the difference is, just real quick, high level, the bag of points is essentially saying we have all these cameras around, but instead of looking at all of them as one view at one time, we're going to go frame by frame from each video, and each frame, think of it as a picture. It's got a certain amount of pixels within that frame, and each one of those pixels, we have to determine what is it, all right? And so then once we do that for every single frame, then we have to try to put all that into context together to paint a picture. Now, what the FSD Beta team has been doing is they've been saying, okay, Let's try a different approach. Let's instead take a video stitching of everything at once, label that segment, and then that is what FSD Beta will make its decisions based off of. Obviously, it's a lot more complex than this, but I don't want to spend 2 hours explaining this. So hopefully that high level kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about. And so with that understanding, this is why the FSD Beta 10.12 coming out might be a pretty big deal, because more of the neural nets are going to be using this surround video. And what that means is that there may be less latency, less jitter, and it might mean that there's more confidence within FSD Beta. So, for example, with Chuck Cook, can the vehicle do the turn properly, the unprotected left-hand turn? Sure, it can, but it doesn't always. And why? Because of this decision making. And it's my opinion that the reason this decision making, kind of lags is because of the way it's viewing the world. And so to go away from a bag of points of viewing the world to surround video, I think this will help the vehicle be more confident and make decisions a lot quicker. So with that said, my whole point has always been that we will understand the true rate of progress and when FSD Beta will truly be ready for robo-taxis, or at least better than a human, based on the beta testers and the YouTube videos they upload. And I think up to this point, that's held true. Now, we can always hear what Elon says, but the truth is, Elon may be biased, and Elon may also say things to try and motivate and put pressure on his teams. So Elon himself is kind of a variable that we can't really depend on, right? As much as we all love Elon, he has potentially other motives, or he may see other things. So what we can do is we can look at these beta testers and use this for our judgment. Okay, so now let me catch you up to what happened about 3-4 months ago. We had Golly from Hyperchange make a video about how he's been actually disappointed with the rate of progress of FSD Beta. And as you all know, Golly is a hyper Tesla bull. All right, I mean, Golly is synonymous when it comes to Tesla. Nobody would ever call Golly anything other than a super bull when it comes to Tesla. But he did have this candid criticism about FSD Beta and the rate of progress that he was seeing. So this actually, set the Tesla community kind of a little bit aback, all right? People were a bit surprised to hear this take from him. And it made you wonder, man, is Elon really off? And don't forget, Rob Maurer also kind of had a similar take, right? Saying that he's kind of skeptical about whether or not FSD Beta will be better than human by the end of this year. Again, Elon's stated goal that came during the Lex Fridman podcast. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's not happening? Well, I still think we have to listen to these beta testers to truly understand where we are. You have Rob Maurer. He is skeptical, isn't too sure about it. You have Golly, who, he was all geeked out about it. He was all excited about it. But then 3-4 months ago, he makes this video essentially saying, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's quite there. I don't see the rate of progress or anything of that nature. So with these two, really bullish people, and I wouldn't call Rob Maurer a Super Bowl. I call Rob Maurer more of a just like the base case type investor, right? I mean, Rob is amazingly grounded and just level-headed. I mean, he's not very emotional or anything. I mean, he says it all the time. It's honestly pretty impressive to see how in control of his emotions he is. But with that said, I still think these are the people we need to listen to understand the state of FSD Beta. So let's talk about the other side of the coin. Well, on the other side of the coin, we see people like Omar from Omar's catalog or Omar's blog. I forget what it is at this moment, but I'm sure you've all seen his YouTube videos. I'm sure you all follow Omar on Twitter. Now, Omar is constantly praising the amazingness of FSD Beta and how it's so next level. All right, literally, I think ever since maybe January, Omar's zero disengagement drives have just been going up and up and up and up. Now, you would expect this, especially since he's out of the Bay Area, lives in California, where the majority of the FSD Beta team lives. So that kind of makes sense, right? It would drive better in the geography where the majority of the testers are, where the majority of the team is. So that kind of lines up. But at the same time, you might sit there and think, well, is Omar actually doing this? Maybe you're skeptical about whether or not he's just, saying this because he's a Tesla bull. Maybe it is true, but it's only true in California. Or maybe he's just hyping it up just for attention. Who knows? I don't think that, but these are narratives that could be painted about Omar, right? At the same time, people can say other things about naysayers, but Omar is a Tesla fan. He's a Tesla bull. It's very fair, and I think that's a pretty accurate assessment of where Omar stands when it comes to Tesla or no Tesla. Now, with regards to people like Golly and Rob Maurer, you would never ever say that they are anti-Tesla. So the opinion could be that look at these people who are Tesla bulls, but they don't think that FSD Beta is really progressing at the rate of someone like Omar thinks. Okay, fair enough. They also live in two different areas, right? Rob Maurer lives, I believe, in the Midwest, and Golly lives, I believe, in the Seattle region. So different geographies, maybe that's a factor. So I just want to set the stage for what I'm about to talk about. So I just want to set the stage of where things are, okay? We have, let's set the spectrum. We have Elon over here saying that he believes full self-driving beta will be better than the human by the end of this year, okay? This is Elon, obviously very biased, could have different motives, who knows? He's obviously very close to it, so maybe he can't be objective, maybe. All right, not saying I believe that, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. So here's Elon. Okay, then you have Omar. Omar is very Tesla bull, right? He tweets everything about Tesla. He makes videos about Tesla, FSD Beta, all that. And he's always showing us now about all these zero disengagement drives. Now, keep in mind, it's not like he's always said this. This has been somewhat recent, right? Ever since January, I want to say. But his zero disengagement drives have been going up and up and up. It's trending the right way, up and to the right. All right, so then you have Omar. And then you have the Gollys of the world, where Golly was super hype about this, but then he became sour about it to the point where he made a video that he doesn't think the rate of progress is actually accelerating that fast, right? He got skeptical about it, or he is skeptical about it. So that's Golly. And then you have Rob Maurer, right? The base case, very stoic, not very emotional person, but he also is skeptical if we're going to get there by the end of this year, talking about the rate of progress, all that good stuff. All right, so there's your spectrum. Now, let's take a look at this recent tweet by Golly, who, like I said, a few months ago made a video saying he does not think FSD Beta is progressing that rapidly, that he wonders if they're kind of at a roadblock, right? All these things that he's wondering because he's just not seeing the progress he expected. So here we can see Golly saying, Tesla FSD Beta has been outstanding with this new version, Elon Musk, making me significantly more bullish on self-driving Tesla FSD Beta safer 2 times than the average human by end of 2022. He goes on to say, seems ready for wide release, Elon Musk. Then Elon responds saying, it still needs more work in my opinion, but we can probably widen the beta a little next month. Goes on to say, another person commenting saying, upload a video of your drive or why you're so bullish now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you thought FSD Beta was further away a couple months ago. And then Golly responded saying, yeah, my opinion has changed in the past couple weeks testing the new version. It's awesome. This is why I believe the FSD Beta testers are the key to understanding where FSD Beta really is. The fact that Golly, think about this. Golly essentially has made his bones through Tesla. I mean, he's, done his own things. That's great and all that, right? He's a self-made man for the most part. But, Tesla was a big part of him becoming who he is. And for him to come out and make a video essentially saying that FSD Beta isn't where he thought it was, and just think about that for a second. That took some conviction. That took some balls, for lack of better words, right? He knew that he'd probably get a lot of flack from a lot of people, but it's what he believed in, and so he put that out there. He was being honest with all of us, and you cannot ask any more from anyone, any creator or anything, right? Just like me, just like you, I would expect all of us just to be honest with each other. And that's what Golly did. So much respect to Golly for doing that. But with that said, here we are a few months later, and he's seen a lot of improvements with this new version. And it is his opinion that it is ready for wide release based on what he's seen, right? At least a wider release. So I think this is extremely bullish. And this lines up with what Elon Musk has been saying about end of the year. This also lines up with what we've been seeing with Omar, with all of these zero disengagement drivings lining up. Right? The count is crazy. I mean, I think he's having whole days of drive, no pun intended, Omar's, right? But I think he's having entire days without any disengagements. This is very bullish. And now to see Golly come here and kind of do a 180 after he seemed like he was getting a little bummed about it. Like, oh man, this just is not where I thought it would be. I thought we'd see a lot more progress, a lot better results by now. But now he's coming out and changing his opinion, right? Which, by the way, how amazing is that? We need that's a healthy way to live, to be able to have one opinion and then over time decide, oh, actually, I'm changing my mind. Now I think this is happening, right? I think that's healthy to be able to change your mind and say, okay, well, maybe I was right then, but now this is right. And so I think that's where Golly is. Again, saying, yeah, my opinion has changed in the past couple weeks testing the new version. It's awesome. So right now we're in May, all right? There's still a lot of year left. There's more than half of the year left in order for Tesla to get to safer than a human. So it is by my estimate that right now they are on pace for that. It is by my estimate that Elon may not be BSing us. He may not be given this timeline to motivate his team, and he might actually be in a place where he really thinks this is where we're going to be, based on his experience with whatever alpha he's driving, based on the data he's seeing, the disengagements. And again, when you look at someone like Omar, and again, be skeptical. Be skeptical of me. Be skeptical of Omar, of Golly, of Rob Maurer. Be skeptical of everyone. But if we do not think that Omar is just making something up for YouTube or just making something up to hype Tesla, and Omar is being transparent and he's being honest with everything he's making, which I believe he is, then that means all these zero disengagement drives, the rate that these are increasing, seeing what Golly is saying here, it's starting to happen. We're starting to see more of the FSD beta testers say, okay, we're getting somewhere. The interesting thing is that it seems like it's going to be moving from the West Coast over to the East Coast. I think that's how we'll see it. So we'll see it in California, we'll see it in Seattle, then we'll see it in Texas, maybe we'll see it in the Midwest, and eventually it'll hit the East Coast. I think that's essentially how it's going to move over as far as the improvements. So to me, this is extremely bullish. I'm very happy that we have these people. We get to follow the progress of this technology in real time, in real life, with all of these people sharing what their experience is. And I feel like whenever people sit there and say, like Golly did, saying, no, I don't think this is going to get there. I don't think this is quite right. I don't think they're making a lot of improvements. And then a few months later to see this 180, this shows that Golly is someone you can probably trust with his opinion and hopefully to be unbiased. Again, none of us have a crystal ball. We're all just trying to read the tea leaves the best we can. Even Elon, all right? Elon doesn't know when it's going to be done. He's just basing this off of disengagement, based on rate of progress, right? And what he's seeing on a day-to-day basis based on the improvements. So no one knows the actual answer. What we do know, though, is we're seeing clear progress. So I think this is very bullish, not just for the stock, but for the company and for humanity in general. I've talked a lot about how I think FSD Beta, how FSD in general, robotaxis can revolutionize the world. Right? The example I like to talk about frequently is imagine some mother who is a night nurse and she has 2 kids and she has to go take the bus to get to work, and let's say it's raining, so she has to walk at night to the bus stop. In the rain, she has to sit there, wait for the bus, all that time, all those stops just to get to the hospital, and maybe the bus stop's not at the hospital, and then she has to walk wherever in the rain again to her location. Versus having a robotaxi just pull up in front of her house, she goes into the robotaxi, gets to work right in front of the spot. It's safer. She doesn't have to go and deal with weather. She doesn't have to walk at night. She doesn't have to waste time with all these other stops and these inefficient routes from a bus. I mean, that's just one small example. All right, I think robotaxis, FSD Beta, FSD in general, is going to revolutionize the world in ways we can't even imagine today. So this is the future. To me, this is the next big technology. This is what the iPhone was for the 2000s. This is what's going to be for the 2020s and beyond. So I'm very bullish. I love seeing this. I love hearing this feedback from Golly. And honestly, I respect Golly's opinion about this so much more. I mean, I'm already a big Golly fan to begin with, but I respect his opinion so much more because I know a few months ago he was kind of saying it's not quite where I thought it would be. It seems like they're stuck. And now to see him do a 180 on that and say, okay, these last releases are legit and they're actually starting to really convince me that we're going to get there. This makes me very optimistic when it comes to FSD Beta. So hopefully this video kind of shined a little bit of light on, the progress of where things have been. Hopefully this shows you what I'm looking for with regards to when FSD Beta will be better than a human and maybe how to really think about Elon's timelines. Again, in my opinion, seeing all of these FSD beta testers, watching all of their different thoughts on it, their videos, their interactions, their disengagements, I think that's going to be the real truth to cut through all the noise, right? Watching all those from Omar in California, Chuck Cook in Jacksonville, Frenchie up in Chicago, Golly in Seattle, right? I mean, people in Austin, people in New York. I mean, there's people everywhere. All right. I mean, people in Rhode Island and Boston. So you can watch all these videos and kind of figure out for yourself where things really are. And we've never had that before. We've never had that in our lifetimes where we can follow the progress of the new groundbreaking technology so closely, so intimately. So extremely excited about this. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. If you want to support the channel, you can find my Patreon link down below. If you want some cool merch gear, you can find that below as well. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your weekend. I love you all. Peace.